If you want to stay up to date with all current hip hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. So when F dropped his latest mixtape, Clouds, the other day on Friday, March 26th. And I was actually pretty excited leading up to the release of it because looking at his past discography, he's someone that, has done incredibly well in a commercial sense and has also always stayed true to his roots and to his sound, and has never really been too much of a big star and never really developed and evolved into like this mainstream attention grabbing star. And that's something I found very special about his career and his persona, and that's why I was excited for this new mixtape. This is his first mixtape. So far he's only released 4 studio albums and some EPs, but no mixtapes, so that's very interesting. Some people are saying there's a studio album coming later this year or next year, which is still up in the air. But I think this can serve as a great tastemaker for what's to come. Now, I have some stuff I want to say about this, and I think we're just going to, jump straight into how I went into the album. I went into this record with the mindset of, this is not his studio album. This is only a mixtape to kind of, have fans satisfied for as long as he doesn't drop the album. And I'm hoping that on the album, he switches up his style a little more, because that is something that I've always found kind of a critique point in NF's music, and that I don't think he can maintain his success and his fan base, or at least not his extended fan base, on a in a long-term run, if he just stays with this very one-dimensional flow and beat selection. And that's also one of the main things I have to criticize about this new record, but that's what we're here to do and dive into. Now, I expected to, see, as I said, the typical NF aggressive beats, hard-hitting beats, and his more aggressive flow, some lyrical experiments here and there, and then, of course, some, softer tunes, a couple of tracks sprinkled throughout the track list, like we had Let You Down on Perception, for example, that became a huge hit. So that was my expectation. On this record, we have 11 tracks. Clouds Edit is the last one, so that's just an edit of the first track. We've already heard Clouds. That was the lead single for it, which I enjoyed quite a bit. And getting into the track list, this served as the perfect intro for it. I've, expressed my opinion about Clouds a lot of times in the past already. It's typical NF flows and lyrics and production. The production from Tommy Prophet on here is, again, incredible. His cinematic production is something that I always look forward to when I'm listening to NF. Hello Yassine and Blackie Speaks also dropped an incredible video on this the other day, talking about why NF's music is so successful, and I highly recommend you go watch that video. It's a bit long, but it's incredible to really get the in-depth information on Tommy Lee's production history and how he and NF met, and how he really sculpted NF style. Now, as I said, Clouds, it's the perfect intro for the song, for the mixtape, but in itself, it's nothing new, and that's what I had kind of feared the whole mixtape was going to be like. The next track, That's a Joke, again, a very predictable song. That's actually my least favorite track on here. The hook is just annoying, in my opinion. He did bring a lot of great energy to the track, though, but in itself, that's just such a forgettable song. Not much replay value on this one. Some people might disagree, but this is just something I could listen to any other NF song, and I would have listened to this song. So I was not a fan of this. I think he was just trying to cater to that specific group of his fan base with this one, but I did not like it. Now, the next one, Just Like You, fun fact, the track list kind of is structured in the way that track 2 was That's a Joke and then Just Like You. So many people pointed that out on social media. I thought that was kind of like a funny, I don't know if it's intentional, but that was a funny detail. Now, Just Like You was that predictable soft song that I said in the beginning, and that's immediately what I thought when I heard that track. He does get a little bit more aggressive and hard-hitting throughout the track. So it kind of has a corny message, if people are going through some hard times, there's millions out there just like you, which is not, it's not a bad thing, but we've heard that, content from NF a lot of times in the past already, so I wasn't too much a fan of it. It's a great vibe though. The production is amazing again. Generally, every track on this thing is produced incredibly well. It's mixed to perfection. Nate's voice is sitting right in the listener's ear, so I can't complain about Tommy Prophet's production at all on here. Now, the next track is Story, and this one is very interesting. The instrumental is amazing. Now, this whole thing is just a really long verse. It's a whole storytelling song about a woman witnessing an armed robbery at a gas station and then becoming part of it, and there's a lot of details to it. He also dropped a video for it, which kind of follows that cinematic story. The instrumental perfectly also emphasizes the different parts of the story and follows it perfectly. Now, I also saw this one tweet from NF that he said that he was curious how his fans were gonna perceive the video that he did for it, because he said he was a lot about making movies, and this song was kind of his first attempt at then also connecting it with a very cinematic music video, and I think he did an incredible job. I always find it very nice when an artist can tell a story with his rhymes through his music, but without making it sound forced. There were no forced rhymes in here. It was just the storytelling, and then the rhymes and the lyricism was used to emphasize it and underline the different parts of the story, which I loved. The next song, Prideful, is my favorite track on this mixtape. This is also a very soft song, not, the typical NF hard-hitting songs. It sounds like a Drake song. Also, the hook is just, to me, it sounds like he just copied a Drake hook, but it's fine, it works. The sample is amazing. It has that very lo-fi feel to it. I love that. As I said, his voice sits perfectly in the listener's ear, and it just sounds so good. The mixing is incredible. So, Tommy Prophet, shout out to you again here. The next song, Lost, featuring Hobson. We've heard this before as well. It was one of the singles for the mixtape. It also got a video, which had a great production. Great energy on this track. It's very predictable, though. Typical NF, hard-hitting flow, as I said so many times already in this video. But the Hobson feature was not bad, which is surprising, because Hobson is someone who we've kind of all seen as fallen off already, but he actually did his thing on this one, so shout out to Hobson for this. The next song, Layers, is another deep cut. This is also my second favorite song, I believe. I always feel like the songs that he doesn't want to be hits are his best, like those deep cuts. So yeah, this has more of a motivational message, but he does it in a very good way. Now he has a line on here that says, "Usually I don't change my traditions," and then right after that there happens to be a beat switch to a trap beat, and it's very unusual to hear NF on like a hard-hitting 808 trap beat, but it works. It worked really well, so I was very excited to hear that, and I thought that was one of the highlights on this whole mixtape, that beat switch. So I'm very much a fan of this. The next song, Drifting, another great sample again. This sample is amazing. Songs like these are his best songs, the one where he shows his vulnerable side and has more of a laid back flow other than just, screaming into the mic. So I love this one. I really love this one. Trust with Tech 9. Tech 9 has a great part. I was kind of, fearing that his part wouldn't be that great also from his first couple of bars. But then his part is probably the biggest part of the song, and he does a great job with it. But this, again, was very predictable. It's just a hard-hitting song. And Tech 9, of course, fits on here perfectly. But any of these songs I mentioned, Clouds, That's a Joke, Lost, Trust Now, and then also the next one, Paid My Dues, these are all interchangeable to me. These are a specific NF formula that he always follows, and that I've just heard so many times in the past before, and that are just getting tiring to listen to. Now, Paid My Dues was one of the singles, and again, I said very, very predictable flow and production on this one too. Now, on his upcoming album, I want him to change up his style a little more. This mixtape in itself as a project is amazing, but it's just so predictable. Now this, if I hadn't listened to this record and I should have given you a review of it, this would have been my review, because I could have predicted, kind of what he would have done on here. Now, of course, it's nice to listen to, and I love to hear some new NF, but I want to see him really tap into his full potential as an artist, as a creative, and, squeeze that last bit of originality out of him without always, having the same beat selection and flows and all that. So that's all I got to say about this. Let me know how you feel about NF's latest mixtape, Clouds, and what your review of it would be. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.